It's a bit of a mystery to me why some people don't have the gene, as it were, of appreciating and loving old things just by virtue of the fact this has been here for 140 years. It represents an era of building and architecture and craftsmanship that no longer exists. I'm Gary Kleiner, and my wife Linda and I are the proud owners of the Schulz-Neef house here in the Whittier neighborhood in Denver. We've been here since 2006. The cool thing about living in an old house is that it does have that history. My wife and I both love Victorian architecture. It's Gothic revival. I've done a lot of renovation to the ornamental woodwork, bringing it back to what it should look like, you know, from what the original craftsman did. The house has had quite a few prominent citizens along the way. This 1887 map shows our house on the corner, right here of the corner of Delano and Main, as 29th and Williams were known back in the 19th century. Doing the research was really a labor of love. It was somewhat painstaking at times, but the discoveries you make along the way are really exciting. It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle and a piece fits all of a sudden. 1,000. You know, I found the original deed actually when Horace Fuller, who Fuller Park is named after, sold it to a man named Robert Ernst Schulz. He was a bookkeeper at the German National Bank. Unfortunately for Mr. Schulz, he defaulted on that loan, and the house was sold at auction. And that's when Frederick Neef bought the house. It was his brother Max who lived here with his family, and the Neef brothers came to Denver in the 1870s, and they originally had a tobacco and liquor store, wholesaler. And eventually they got into saloons. Yeah, that's Max, that's Fred. But then they bought a brewery and named it the Western Brewery in 1891. That turned into the Neef Brothers Brewery, which at the time was one of the largest breweries in the region. Unfortunately, in 1916, when Prohibition was put into effect, that of course severely affected their business, and they didn't make it to the other side of Prohibition, and so the brewery closed. But they were very prominent citizens. Max and his family lived here till 1945. And then in 1948, the Nonakas bought the house, and they were originally from Japan, and they had lived on the West Coast in California. When World War II came around, they were interned at a Japanese internment camp, Camp Amachi, which is in southeast Colorado. And all through this area, in Whittier and Curtis Park, there were a lot of Japanese families living after World War II here. And then the next people of note to move here, like from the mid-70s through the late 80s, was Reynelda Muse and her husband Daniel Muse. And the people in this neighborhood still refer to this house as the Reynelda Muse house. She was the first woman and first African-American to be a news anchor in Colorado, and she worked on the Denver News Channel, and so she was pretty well known. When you live in an old house, and especially when you get to know something about the people who had lived here before you, you feel like you're part of a continuum of history. You know, our job is to be good stewards of the house, and it really has become kind of one of the main characters in our lives, this, you know, living here. It really gives you a sense of place and a sense that it has a soul, that people were here, generations of people have lived here, and they valued the aesthetics. The more we can preserve that, I think the better off we are.